Over 200 years ago, the United States proposed what was then a novel idea. The transition of power would not be determined by death of royalty and not by bloody revolution in the streets. Instead, power would change hands as the result of the votes of free people.
Voting is the best expression of your opinion in a democracy, and unless we have a large number of people participating, our democracy fails.
But today, too many people don't vote. We asked the Secretary of the State, why not?
My vote doesn't count. That's the most common thing you hear.
Your one vote does matter because we've had very close elections here.
In 1994, the race for Congress in Connecticut's 2nd District needed 2 recounts and a court battle to determine the winner.
There were only 21 votes separating the 2 candidates out of hundreds and thousands of votes that had been cast.
In 2002 in Torrington, the Republican candidate for the State House of Representatives beat her Democratic opponent by just 1 vote. In 2006, again in Connecticut's 2nd Congressional District, over 200,000 voters cast ballots. The margin of victory, just 89 votes. Also in 2006, in Groton, the Democratic primary race for state representative resulted in a tie. That race was eventually decided by a coin toss. Connecticut election law changed after that. The people who control our tax dollars and make our laws can no longer be chosen by the flip of a coin. However, you can choose them if you choose to exercise your right to vote. But some people don't vote, sometimes because they don't trust the system.
You could have 100 people vote, but at the end of the day, those 100 votes could just turn anonymously into 150 votes. It's controlled. I mean, we could vote as much as we want, but at the end of the day, the person that they want in power is going to be put in power regardless if we vote or not.
The Secretary of the State supervises all elections in Connecticut and says there's no evidence that elections are not on the up and up.
It's run locally, first of all, so it's a very decentralized system. There has not been a single case of voter fraud proven in the last 20 years, as far back as we could go.
We have a very unique collaboration with the University of Connecticut Voter Center, and the Computer Engineering Department audits all of our elections. We also have a post-election audit written in our law where 10% of our polling places are tested.
Other potential voters feel there aren't enough choices, that they're always forced to choose between the lesser of 2 evils. The 2 major parties do have a huge influence on Connecticut politics. But in modern times, Connecticut has elected a third-party governor, an independent senator, and as recently as 2015, a third-party state senator. And just voting can give you some leverage.
Even if a candidate is not touching on all of the points that they feel are important, that's more reason for them to vote. Then they have a voice, they have a reason to go and knock on a person's door and say, hey, look, I voted for you. These are the issues that are affecting my community. What are you going to do about it to earn my vote the next go round?
And remember, you can vote for more than just politicians, especially at the local level. Budget and other referenda let residents decide how their tax dollars are spent, what spaces towns preserve or develop, and even how local government is structured. And yet, on Election Day 2008, only 2/3 of eligible Connecticut voters actually cast a ballot. Thousands more did not vote because they weren't registered. Luis Fernandez is a native of Venezuela. In 2015, he became a U.S. citizen, and the first thing he did was register to vote.
By voting is like you're actually putting democracy in place.
Voting is the ultimate right in any democratic society. So who has the right to vote, and how can it be taken away? That's the subject of our next video.